Hello, my Intro to Game Design students. I am here to show you how to do your video analysis assignment. So the first thing I'm going to do is the first thing that you should do. I'm going to go to Canvas and reread the assignment just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So the video analysis assignment asks you to conduct a video analysis of a game. Pretty straightforward, right? It doesn't matter the platform. I've chosen today to study a Steam game, so I'm going to be using a computer. I'm going to be using a PC to play it, but you can do anything. You can do an arcade game, you can do a board game, it doesn't matter. As long as you capture gameplay and you can capture audio. If you would like to use a webcam, that's cool. If you're doing a video analysis of a board game, you are going to need a camera, right? Because you can't just film with the desktop, because there is no desktop, because it's a board game. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is play this game multiple times. I've picked a game called House Flipper, which I have played like 200 hours of. I find it very soothing. I really like playing it after work. So make sure the game that you select is a game that you either have played or can play many, many, many times in order to do a thorough analysis of it. I want you to conduct the analysis from the game designer's perspective. So this is not a fanboy or fangirl assignment. I don't want to hear how awesome The Witcher is. I know it is awesome, I believe you. This is from you as a game designer, analyzing a game for its design protocols. How is it designed, right? So how are you going to do that? You're going to use one of the types of analysis that we talked about in class. So you can use an object inventory, an interface study, an interaction map, a gameplay log, or any combination therein. I'm actually choosing to do a combination today of an object inventory and user interface. Please don't let that limit what you do. I really enjoy creativity. I really don't want to see all of you do an object inventory and all of you do a user interface study just because that's the one I did. Please do a gameplay log, do something fun, do something creative. Really, it's going to make it a lot easier to grade these. So make sure that you played the game beforehand and you've taken notes. I have taken notes and put them on post-it notes that are right below my monitor so I can glance at them as I go through it, but still maintain professionalism and make eye contact with you, dear viewer. If you are just narrating over, then you have to worry less about eye contact. Fair enough. Okay, so what you need some materials like a computer that can play the game if you are using a computer. You need OBS, Streamlabs if you're using a computer. You need a microphone to record audio. Webcam is optional. I don't require your face on this in case you don't want to show your face. That's fine. And one thing to note, if you're like, wow, this is a lot of stuff, I have to buy all this stuff. You do not have to buy all this stuff. You can get all this stuff from the Marriott Library. You can rent it out. They also have like Streamlab video recording cubicles, which have just moved, so I don't know which floor they're on, but if you ask a librarian, I'm sure they would help you. You are going to submit your video, once complete, on Canvas through a YouTube link. This is very important. If you try to upload the video to Canvas, and Canvas accepts all file types, so it would theoretically allow you to, what's going to happen is you're going to wait 8 hours for it to upload, and then you're going to get an upload error. Canvas does not like large files, and HD videos are super large files. So having said that, upload it to YouTube. If you do not want to make your link public, if you do not want your video to be public, that is a-okay. Do not worry. You can make it unlisted. Do not make it private. If you make the video private, the TA and I cannot see. If you make it unlisted, then we are able, anyone with a link can click it and view it. Okay, so make sure that you make it unlisted. Okay, so now that that's done and dusted, let's go ahead and open up the game. And I will get started with my example analysis. So remember that this is just an example. The only reason I do this is because students every year ask for an example. This is just an example analysis. You can be very creative. You can do any other game, anything. Yours might not look like mine, okay? All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is introduce myself. Hello, I am Ashley Brown, and this is my submission for Dr. Ashley Brown's video analysis assignment. Following Consalvo and Dutton, 2006, I will use an object inventory and interface study to examine how House Flipper recreates the feeling of satisfaction you get from watching home renovation programs on HGTV. So you'd be forgiven for thinking a game like House Flipper is about home renovation. It certainly is, but it's actually not about the drudgery of renovating a house. If you've ever renovated a house in real life, you'll know that it's a lot of back-breaking labor and not a lot of fun. But what is fun is watching programs on home garden television, HGTV, or I think Discovery Channel has a few now, but watching those home renovation programs where they take a house that is really run down, beat up, holes in walls, and they just make it pretty, right? You get this satisfaction from seeing a pretty house. So my argument is that House Flipper is not a game about teaching you how to do home renovation or about home renovation. It's about watching home renovation being done and getting that feeling from it. So to give you a little bit of background, House Flipper is a home renovation simulation game, right? So the simulation part would be the developed in Poland by indie studio Empyrean and released by Playaway SA on Steam on May 17th, 2018. It was made using Unity. So let's go ahead and get started. So for the object inventory, I'm going to focus on two things. The two main objects you have in the game are your houses, obviously, it's a home renovation game, and then you also have house stuff, which we'll get into in a minute. So here's the first house. This is actually my office. So even your office, your base your base of operations in this game is a type of object in your inventory. So you have this laptop, you have this user interface. So your primary user interface is either your laptop, your tablet, or you have a wheel and a mini map that I'm going to get into. So this is basically your menu system, which is why I include it in a user interface. You can click your browser and boom, you've got Zillow. This is not Zillow, but if you've ever been on the website Zillow, it's a website where you can browse houses for sale. And the user interface within this menu system is very much just like Zillow, which fits, right? Because this is a simulation game about renovating houses. So here you go, you're logging on to the internet, you're going on to Zillow, and you're looking for homes that are for sale that you can flip. I currently own 3 homes. This is my really bad starter office that's not very glamorous. This is the house I'm currently renovating, and this is my fancy office that I've decided to make even prettier. We can click on sold and see all these objects in my inventory. These are all the homes that I've already renovated. And then we have these homes for purchase. But since we've already purchased one for renovation, let's go ahead and click on that so I can show you some of the user interface elements and also some of the other object inventory. Boop. So we're going to go to this house. And as it loads, you can see what this house looked like before I got it. So I've already cleaned up the front a little bit. But let's get into that user interface element. On the top right of the screen, you see this very small, interesting mini-map. Something to note in the mini-map, you see these black splotches. Those black splotches are dirt that needs to be cleaned. So one of the interesting design choices, here's some dirt. Okay, so watch the mini-map. I'm going to show you how I clean it. So we have different options here. We have a brush cutter, we have demolition, we have tiling, paneling, moving objects, garden hose, paint, cell objects, and an axe. If I get up close to this, I accidentally selected the axe. I'm not going to try and chop grass. It prompts me, the user interface on the bottom of the screen, which hopefully you can see. I will try and move out of the way if you can't. It says push the right mouse button to switch to the garden hose. So the user interface prompts me to switch to the garden hose, which tells me that this is for cleaning. We might associate garden hoses with other things around the house, like watering the plants, right? You don't actually have to water plants in this game. This is for cleaning. So the user interface element prompts us for that. I don't exactly know what I just cleaned up. It kind of looked like it was concrete or some sort of dirt. If I were trying to remove concrete from grass, that would be a total nightmare. But in this game, it's just one quick click of my mouse button and it all goes away. So in this sense, the user interface, very clear, very simple, just gets me to that garden hose. And then the action of cleaning is just a simple click. That gives me that feeling. I don't have to sit there and pick out pieces of concrete or gravel and throw them away or anything like that. So as we get into the house, you've noticed my hose changed to a mop, dust mop, Swiffer, whatever it is, and that's to clean. Looking at our mini map, let's go in here. Oh, it's so trash. Oh, this is just awful, right? But let's use our user interface, that quick little wheel, that unassuming wheel, to start removing trash. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, someone did the do. Time to remove that. Okay, look, in a few seconds, I've gotten that feeling that would actually, if I were actually cleaning this room, it would take me probably an hour, right? Dragging out all that furniture, putting everything in bins, but that's not fun. So the fun is in quickly getting rid of all that trash, looking at the mini map, oh, it's so nice and clean, and having that moment. So in this case, the user interface, by taking those black splotches away, and also the object inventory of being able to take these trash, nasty objects that are in the game and just get rid of them, leads me to that nice, warm, fuzzy feeling of everything being clean. But if you'll notice on that mini map, you see that there's some red on there. Red's no good, right? Games teach us that red isn't good. So red are things like tasks that we need to do still. So this prompts us, the user interface element in the center of the screen says you can buy a radiator and mount it here. This brings me to my next object inventory item that I'd like to discuss. If you can see in the bottom right corner, which I'm probably blocking, it says change tool, cell house, or tablet. So I'm going to push tab to get my tablet up, and wow, look at all this stuff. There's a lot of paint. If you click on wall, there's a lot of accessories like trash cans and nightstands and toys for kids. There's clocks, there's kids furniture, there's kitchen stuff, there's containers, there's all sorts of stuff that we can buy for our house. We've been prompted to buy a radiator though. So one of the things that I want to highlight is that the user interface makes buying objects super easy. Again, if this were real life, we would have to log into a website, we'd have to enter in all of our credit card information, it would take 2 or 3 days to get the object to us, and it would be really complicated and not very fun. So this house stuff is not just house stuff in our inventory, but it's pretty, it's clean, it's sleek, and it's easy to use house stuff in this massive inventory of house stuff. When I click buy now, boom, already, look how quick that was. Already arrived. So again, in real life, I would have to spend a long time unboxing this. I would have to pull out all the styrofoam. I'd have to pull out all the bits and pieces, and then I'd have to figure out how to recycle them or take it to the dump. But boom, done. All I had to do was one click and the radiator's on the wall. Now we do have to assemble it, but if you can imagine, I know radiators aren't popular in the United States, but in I think maybe East Coast of the United States are popular, but definitely in Europe they are popular, and this game's made in Poland, so there you go. But you have to connect radiators to a source of either oil or water in order for them to work, which involves a lot of plumbing. Here we're just going to click, you see the user interface that says E for assemble, we're going to click that, and let's count how many clicks it takes us to assemble this radiator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 clicks and boom, our radiator's assembled. So again, this shows how the game designers knew that putting a radiator together is not super fun, but being able to look, oh, now it's green, oh, now it's blessed green on our mini map. That feels so good. Now we have a radiator room, we have heat in our room. That's so nice. Okay, this room does look like trash though. So let's figure out how, using our object inventory, we can make these walls look less horrible. Okay, let's what does it say on the user interface? It says you need a bucket of plaster to fill the hole in the wall. Okay, let's go back to our tab. Let's click our home button. Here's a plaster bucket. Let's buy that. And then, oh, look, all we have to do is push E to switch to plastering. Nice and easy. Okay, let's go ahead and plaster this up. In real life, plastering would take a very, very, very long time. It's quite an in-depth process, time-consuming. The plaster stuff is also horrible if you get it on your skin. It gets sticky, it sticks to your arm hair. It's not very fun, but this is just so soothing. Look, 1, 2, plastered, so nice. Plaster this, and then I'm gonna actually do the whole room just because we want that effect, right? Okay, this would probably have taken the better part of a day to do in real life, but it's quick and easy and simple, and oh my goodness, is that not beautiful? Okay, so we need to finish off this wall, so let's go back into our object inventory and click on walls, and then look at all the cool things we can do to the wall. Let's go ahead and look at paint though, and let's find a nice soothing color to paint our beautiful new room. Let's pick sky blue, why not? Okay. If we look at our user interface wheel, it's changed slightly since the last time when we were outside, and all the icons are very simple, very clean, but they let you know exactly what you're going to be able to do in the game. A hand for grabbing things or moving objects. Again, we have the Swiffer for cleaning. It's interesting that they use a paintbrush when in the game it's a paint roller. When you paint walls in homes, you use a paint roller, but a paintbrush is the iconography they used probably to make sure that you didn't get confused with the cleaning Swiffer, because they kind of look similar, right? So we associate the traditional paintbrush, like an artist paintbrush, with painting. So it's probably a safer choice to use that. What? Okay, we missed a spot. We somehow missed a spot. Oh, let's go back to plastering. How did we miss that spot? Okay, well, I may have, oh. There we go. Okay, that was a little tricky to click on. Okay, here we go. Gonna finish painting this really, really quick. Again, painting is back-breaking work. Never paint ceilings, it's horrible. But in this game, you just click and drag. It's very soothing. This is actually when I've had a stressful day at work, this is what I like to come home and do, just because it's very quick, very easy. Even the noise is kind of ASMR-like. Okay. I may be straying into gameplay analysis right now, but that's okay. So we're going to finish up painting this wall, and then we're going to see the overall effect that the room has. Something else worth noting in our user interface is that we don't have a whole lot cluttering the screen, right? Our screen is pretty well empty, so we can see the room and see how well we're doing at renovating it. We just have our arms and the paint bucket and the paint roller, really. Clogging it up. Okay, I'm a perfectionist. I've got to do these last two little bits. Oh no, I didn't do the lentils over here. What is that? Is that a lamp? What is that on the wall? I don't know what that is. Let's go ahead and get rid of it because I don't know what it is. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. So let's go out the room and come back in. Oh, look at this hallway. Ugh, it's so gross. Ah, isn't that relaxing? Okay, so in conclusion, through doing a object inventory that looked at the primary objects in the inventory, which are houses and house stuff, and through looking at the user interface with the mini map and this user interface wheel that lets you select actions, I have come to the conclusion that the game designers of House Flipper have successfully captured the feel of satisfaction in seeing a home renovated through this object inventory and interface. So essentially, the designers have pared down the amount of work, the amount of labor, and the amount of stuff that goes into renovating a house to make it feel as streamlined, smooth, and fun as possible. In this case, fun isn't in the sense of excitement or blowing stuff up. Fun is in the relaxation of seeing a home being renovated, similar to the relaxation people feel from watching programs like Love It or List It on HGTV. So this is less a game about education and teaching people how to renovate their homes and its user interface and execution, and it's more a game about that ta-da, that this is amazing, I wish I could live in this house moment. That is my video analysis for Dr. Ashley Brown's class. Thank you all so much for watching the video, and now I'm going back into professor mode. If you have any questions about any of this or any of the assignments, please do either ask in class or send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to talk about it. Okay, thanks all for watching.